Just go to KFAB.com.
Schrock Innovations presents the Midwest's #1 independent computer repair company with service centers in Lincoln, Omaha, Papillion, Des Moines, and across the country via the Schrock desk. This is Compute This.
Good morning, folks, and welcome into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We've got 4 locations to help you out when your computer is having problems. Maybe you're looking for a new computer. Maybe you want to trade some old junky computer in for an ultimate upgrade. You know, I love that. You know, we post on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, where we're currently streaming, by the way. You can watch the show there if you'd like, be a part of Schrockville. But, you know, we post up there on the website, you know, trade in your old piece of junk computer for a Schrock modular computer. Isn't it great? And of course, you know, we have the people that just bought like a new modular computer like 2 years ago and like, my computer's a piece of junk? Wait, I thought it was supposed to last forever. Okay, funny, haha. No, it's not a piece of junk, and no, it doesn't last forever. But they do. Our modular machines usually last around 6 years. When you compare that to the expected 18-month lifespan of a Dell or an HP, and if you haven't bought a new computer in like, you know, the last 5 or 7 years, you might be like, oh, Thor, I've had this thing forever. It works fine. Well, they don't build them like that anymore. I'm just saying. It's a big computer. Like a desktop computer now, an HP desktop is a big, beautiful box of air. They don't even give you the air. Like the air is from your house. And inside that big, beautiful box of air, there's a laptop motherboard. Because it's basically a laptop without a screen in a big box of air. So, I mean, the world has completely changed when it comes to computers. And so sometimes people are a little surprised when they get rid of something they've had for a long time that's been very reliable, very robust, and then they replace it. And then a few months later, a year, whatever, they end up having to replace it again. And like, oh, I'm never going to buy that Dell again. That's a piece of garbage. Or I'm never going to buy that HP again. That's a piece of garbage. Or I'm never going to buy that Sony again. You know, and it's not the brand. All the motherboards are made in the same factories, guys. I mean, it's not the brand. It's the way they're being built now. So what we try to do different over at Schrock at our 4 locations, you know, we're the OG Schrock in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road there. In Omaha, 168th and Burke, across the street from the Village Point Mall. In Papillion, 84th and Highway 370, across from the new jail. Hey, high-priced real estate there. And then it's a big, beautiful jail, though. I mean, I've seen it from the outside. It looks amazing. 5 stars, would not recommend. And then, of course, in West Des Moines, Iowa, 9500 University Avenue. But when we're getting people into the ultimate upgrade, which is, if you haven't heard about this by now, I mean, come on, I've been talking about it for a few weeks. Time's almost up on it, actually. It just goes through the end of the month here. But the ultimate upgrade is where you can trade in some old computer. We don't care what it is or if it works or what it's worth, quote unquote, the value. We don't care. You trade that in, you recycle it with Schrock, and then you get your choice of one of 3 amazing machines for $599. So you get your choice of the desktop ultimate upgrade, the laptop ultimate upgrade, and then the brand new Mini, which can actually be made into an all-in-one, which is just crazy that we can do that now. It's just insane. But so that's going on at Schrock here through the end of the month, and you can definitely check that out. Now, if you did miss last week's program, it is available up on the website, SchrockInnovations.com. You can listen there. Just click on Radio Show. There was no video last week, guys. My wife and I were in South Carolina having a mom and dad vacation without the children just for a few days, and it was amazing. We did all the history tour. There's so much history in South Carolina. We went to Charleston. There's so much history there. You're Civil War buff? Charleston. Revolutionary War buff? Charleston. You know, probably, you know, they even have some World War I and World War II stuff. I mean, it's like that place was used for everything. They even filmed like, movies at the historical sites in the basements. I mean, it's just crazy. So anyway, we went there and we did all the history walking tours and all this other stuff, all the things the kids wouldn't want to do, and it was just amazing. So I appreciate your indulgence there so I could get that time with my wife to do that. But we are back this week with video at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations, and we will have an after Schrock after the program. We'll talk more about that coming up here in a bit. So last week's show is on the website. Last week we did a deep dive into the ultimate upgrade. So I went into each of the computers, what's great about them, what their purposes are, because sometimes people, this time around, for example, the laptop is the clear winner. More people are buying ultimate upgrade laptops than any other any of the other models. Number 2, which was a shock to me, is the desktop. We thought, we have these new minis, right? And we thought, oh my gosh, this is a mini. You can literally hold it in the palm of your hand, and it's more powerful than the Ultimate Upgrade desktop. It's a more powerful computer. It's just as upgradable. You know, you can't put a video card in it, I guess. But I mean, from a memory and a hard drive perspective, you can take it as high as you can one of the desktop models. But it's just been surprising to me. People keep saying every year, oh, the desktop is dead. It's not dead. People still want desktops. And it's amazing because if you go into any of the stores, the only place at the Mart, for example, that you can find a desktop is in the gaming section. And if you go into like a box store like Best Buy or something like that, I think there's rows and rows of laptops, and there's like literally one desktop and like 5 all-in-ones. So there's no selection anymore. So we were kind of surprised that the Mini wasn't. You know, it's not that it's not selling. It's just it's selling more to our business clients, our business customers. Really like the Mini because it takes up less space on the desk. If you're using it in an application like a retail environment, it takes less space up on the counter. It's not a big computer tower with all the problems that go along with that. It's a Mini. It's a tiny little thing. So that one is the new kid on the block, and it's not selling as heavily as the desktop or the laptop. So it's just interesting to look at how this all breaks down. And I mean, my guys all want Minis. They're asking me, Thor, hey, can I use my employee discount and buy the Mini? Yes, you can. So we got some guys that are buying them and taking them home for their own applications, which is pretty cool. So it's always good when your employees want to own your product. You know, that's how Apple feels, I bet. 402-558-1110 is the number to join us on the program today. Also, if you're outside of the metro area, 888-250-2091. We'll pick up the dime on the call there. Nice thing about this, guys, is at the end of the program, we're going to draw one person who calls in and asks a question, makes a comment, is a part of the show in some way. And we're going to make that real easy for you. We got some winning topics today, okay? But if you call in, be a part of the program, we'll put you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate that we'll draw for here at the end of the program. So when we do ask for your name and your phone number, it's not because we're, evil stalkery people or we're doing something with AI or, anything like that. No, we just want to pick your name out of a hat and give you $25. And we have to have a way to get a hold of you. So that's pretty much what it comes down to. So coming up on the program today, guys, we've got, of course, the Ultimate Upgrade sale is still going on. We're going to mention that, from time to time. But more importantly, there's a lot of news about internet service out there. And this is hitting close to home for me because while I'm tootling along on vacation, it's very hard for me to unplug. When you own a business, it's hard to unplug from it because you're always concerned, there's a payroll hitting while I'm out. I just want to make sure everything's okay. I'm just going to make sure all the deposits have been made and everything is good. And, then you're checking this. I'm just going to check this one thing and you're checking that. Well, one of the things I logged into the bank accounts and I just, for whatever reason, I tapped on my personal account, probably because we were going to go spend some money. And I was like, make sure we got the money in there. I tap on personal account and I noticed a bank draft from Cox Communications out of our account for $170. And at that moment, it struck me. That is what I'm paying per month for internet in my house. Now, I do have some BA $$ internet in my house. Like the guys, when we do Safe Upgrade, they want to test it at my house because my house can download it like that. Do I need that kind of speed at home? Probably not. But, hey, I'm sure at some point there was some special offer where it was like, because I thought I was paying like $99 a month. No. And so what happens is Cox has raised it on me periodically over time. And I'm sure they've sent me e-notices that I never logged in to look at because they don't send you paper in the mail anymore. And I'm on paperless billing to get the lowest rate. So when I'm on auto payment to get the lowest rates. So when the rate goes up, when the bill goes up $10, you just don't notice. Then it goes up $10 again, then another $10. And before you know it, one day you're at $170 and you're like, whoa. This is like the Norton antivirus billing scheme. That's literally what they will do. If you have Norton, like Norton 360 or something like that, they raise your price, your renewal price every single year up to $400 a year for your security software. Because if you're on auto pay and you don't notice, they just take the money. It's beautiful. And so I'm like, that got me thinking. I'm like, I got to look into this. And I started looking into what other people pay for internet. And then I got a little angry. And so today on the program, what we're going to do is I'm going to tell you what other people pay for their internet, and you might get a little angry. And I'd love it when we go through that segment if you'd give us a call and share your stories. And I've gotten tons of advice from people in Schrockville about how to contact Cox and tell them I'm going to switch to somebody else, and then they'll give me a special retention deal to keep me, kind of thing. And so anybody with advice like that, very, very happy to hear about that. Also, if you thought maybe you were escaping this because you don't use land-based internet, we've got another story from T-Mobile about how they're going to start slowing your internet speed down if you're a T-Mobile mobile user, like a phone, or you have the T-Mobile business internet. The little cylinder, it looks like a little Mac Pro, like a little trash can, but it's a little cylinder that basically gives you 5G internet and a wireless network. They're going to start slowing your speeds on that. So, hey, great. You had something that was good. You were paying $50 a month for it, $100 a month for it, had great speed relative for what you needed for a business, especially if it was remote. And now they're going to go ahead and screw around with that. Lastly, on the program today, guys, I came across a story this week that it was phenomenally interesting. Is your optometrist going to lose his job because of ChatGPT? Well, technically, it's GPT-4, but nobody knows what GPT-4 is, so ChatGPT, basically. Is your optometrist, your eye doctor, going to lose his job to AI? You might be surprised by the answer. And so we're going to cover that coming up on the program here as well. So real quick, before we jump into break, guys, I just want to mention one more time, the Ultimate Upgrade Sale is going on right now at Schrock, all locations. The locations are currently open from noon to 5 today on Sunday. Monday through Saturday, it's 10 to 8. The only exception is Des Moines, which is closed on Sunday. You can stop in. The display models are available. You can look at each of them. You can hold the Mini in your hand. You can check everything out. If you want to make an all-in-one with the Mini, you basically pick up the Mini and then you pick up a monitor, or maybe you have a monitor at home, and then you pick out what size you want and you build a custom all-in-one. It's kind of cool. You get to pick your screen. You get to stick the computer on the back of the screen with those little VESA mount. And then there's even a shorty little cable that comes with the computer for the video, so you don't end up with a giant 3-foot-long HDMI cable coiled up behind your monitor and tacked up there. So, I mean, it was built for this, and that's why it makes it so impressive. So you can check all those out in the service centers. The way that the trade-in works, again, I had questions on Facebook about this. We don't care what you're trading in. You don't get a discount based on the value of your trade. It's not like trading in a car where, imagine if you could say, tell you what, normally this car is $50,000. But if you trade in any car, we don't care what the car is. We don't care if it has wheels. We don't care if it has an engine. As long as at one point in time this thing was called a car, it could be cubed. We don't care. Trade it in, and you'll get the $50,000 car for $35,000. That's essentially how the Ultimate Upgrade is working. We don't care what you trade in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have a value. If it doesn't have all of its parts, we don't care, because we're just having it recycled. We're sending it to a recycling facility. We don't take parts out of it to build your new computer or to build some other guy's new computer. It goes to the recycling facility. What we're trying to do, guys, is we are trying to replace computers out there that are HPs and Dells and Sonys and things like that you have in your home with Schrock modular computers. That's the whole point of this sale. That's why it's priced so inexpensively. Let me give you an example. If you were to come into the service center and buy the Intrepid laptop for $800, you would have a beautiful laptop for $800. Touchscreen, a 240 gig hard drive, 8 gigs of RAM, everything you need. Expandable in every way. It's beautiful. Or you could come in and buy the Ultimate Upgrade for $599 and upgrade the hard drive for $50, 120 to a 240. So now, to keep the math straight, guys, we were at $600, now we're at $650, and you have the exact same laptop. I mean literally the exact same laptop. When we take them out of the box, we say, are we building an Ultimate Upgrade or are we building an Intrepid? And the only difference is the size of the hard drive. Literally. So it's like you're getting $200 for whatever piece of garbage you're trading in. So, I mean, and maybe you're trading in. Sometimes we have people that trade in stupidly good things. And we're like, why are you trading in like a 12th gen Intel desktop with a 3060 graphics card in it? This is really weird. Did you take this from your son? Is this stolen? Like, where did this come from? It's like, and then the guys start like, hey, Thor, you've always said if we see anything in recycles that we want, that we just have to say something. because we don't want people taking things from the service center without asking, because that just leads to confusion and misunderstanding, if you know what I mean. So it's like if there's something in the recycles that's cool. Like one time we had somebody recycle a bag phone. And my Gen Z guys have never seen a phone in a bag. They've never seen a cell phone that went into a pleather bag that someone would have in their car with a giant antenna. They're like, is that a CB radio? No, that's a cell phone. Back in my day. So no, they wanted to take it home and play with it. Yes, so fine, take it home. One time we had somebody recycle. This was probably one of the cooler ones. And if I was not a married dad with children with a lot of junk in the house already, I probably would have taken this myself. But somebody traded in a Commodore VIC-20 in the box with the printer and the drives. Like it was a complete Commodore VIC-20 setup. This is like computer museum kind of stuff. And it would have been that was my first computer. That would have been so cool to have that back and be like, look at all this stuff. My wife was like, Thor, are you going to use the new computer? I was like, I might use it to do homework. And she's like, that may have worked on your dad 30 years ago, but it's not going to work on me. So, anyway, so we don't care what you trade in. Whatever you want to trade in, it's good for us. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. When we come back from the break here, guys, we're going to tell you about T-Mobile and the notice it sent to its customers advising them that if they did this one thing, their internet speed is going to be throttled. That means slowed down. What is the one thing? We're going to tell you coming up next on Compute This.
There are enough unused computers in storage to give every man, woman, and child in the U.S. an old, outdated, and useless computer system. Obsolete tablets and smartphones are nearly as bad. Most people know not to throw them into the landfill where they leak and contaminate, but it's hard to find a place to safely recycle electronics. That's why Schrock Innovations offers free recycling for computers, laptops, phones, tablets, cords, and accessories. In fact, only monitors and printers have a small recycling fee. Everything else is free. More importantly, Schrock will securely delete any data from your devices and hard drives before they are sent to a certified recycling partner who will then repeat the wiping process just to be safe. When you recycle your old technology at Schrock, you know your identity and privacy are protected and your equipment is being actually recycled by a certified recycling partner. Schrock is proud to recycle more e-waste than we produce annually, making a positive difference to our economy and ecology. Do your part by dropping your old gear at any Schrock service center and be part of the area's largest and most popular technology recycling program with Schrock Innovations.
If you can dream it, Schrock Interactive's website developers can make it happen. Refresh your website, automate sales and marketing, and grow your business today with Schrock Interactive.
You would probably rather drink the water at Camp Lejeune than get another call about the desperate need to renew your car's expiring warranty. Who actually responds to those calls? Everyone wants to play the warranty game where you pay money now just in case you need service later that everyone hopes you won't need or use. It's such a waste. It's no different with computers. Major manufacturers' warranties have more subscript crosses than a Sunday morning church service. Batteries are exempt, hard drives must be completely dead, and forget about anything that they can remotely claim as physical damage. That's why Schrock warranties are different. When you purchase a modular PC or a solid-state laptop and extend your warranty, we offer a no-risk money-back guarantee. If you need the warranty, you will be thrilled to have it. If you don't use it, we refund your money automatically every time. That's right, we are so confident in the quality of our products that our extended warranties are refundable. Many Schrock customers use their refunds to purchase another warranty or pocket the savings and move on. We all know you'll need it to cover that expiring car warranty anyway. Schrock's refundable extended warranties. Just another way the Schrock Innovations Computer Company makes your computer work for you.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. Appreciate you joining us here today and spending your time with us here on the radio. It means a lot to me, and I missed you guys last week a lot. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091 is the number to join us on the program. So T-Mobile is saying that if you do this one thing, you could see your internet speed throttled or slowed down because it makes it fair for everybody on the network to do this to you. You're paying the same price as everybody else on the network. You were told you get unlimited internet for that price. And there is no limit on how much internet you can consume. There may be a limit on how fast you can consume it, though. So we're going to tell you about that here in just a moment. But first, let's jump into those phones. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Craig, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Hey, Thor, good morning, and I really appreciate being a customer of your business. You got great customer service.
Thank you.
And wonderful company. Hey, man, I just recently retired from my current career and had to send back their work laptop and all that jazz. Now, I do have my Schrock PC, and there's two things I noticed here. All I have is Gmail, where I used to have their Outlook, for my email address. And now I find that with Gmail, you cannot transfer emails off the Gmail and then onto your hard drive like you could with the Outlook.
You can't.
And I cannot open their Outlook emails anymore either. So when I try to do that, they tell me you need a version of Outlook, in order to open those emails. But there's like 3 or 4 versions, and I don't want to buy one and then still not be able to open the work emails. Do you know what version I need to have?
Yeah, well, when they talk about the version, this is kind of funny because I had this same conversation with Gary Saddlemeyer a while back. He calls me up, and he's like, Thor, after the radio show on Sunday, I need to talk to you. And I'm thinking, oh, dang, what did I do? Oh, no. Yeah. What did I say? What went out over the air that we shouldn't have? Uh-oh. And so finally, then I get all nervous about it, and I come in on Sunday, and then Gary forgot to come in. And I'm like, ah. And so then he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot all, but I will see you next week. And I'm like, oh, God, no, what did I do? And so then next week comes, and I go into his office, and he's like, so is it possible for me to put Outlook, like what I have at work, you see, on my computer at home? And I was like, Gary, that's what you made me wait 2 weeks to ask me? You should have just called in like Craig. It's the same answer. So the answer is, so basically you're confused because they've named everything Outlook now. You have, in fact, today when I started the show, I hit start on my keyboard, typed OUTL and hit enter because that's how I open Outlook. And it opened up the Outlook app. And then it tried to import everything from my Outlook and it failed miserably. And I'm like, what is this? Did something change? I was gone for a week and it changed. And so then I was like, no, my Outlook is still here. And I opened up my Outlook on this computer. It's Outlook 2019 that I have installed. So number one, the easiest way for you to get from point A to point B is going to be to buy a copy of Office, Home, and Business. You can't really buy Outlook anymore as a separate program. So if you buy Office, Home, and Business, you get Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Excel, all the things you're used to using in your professional career. Now, if your objective is to not spend any money, because you are retired now, and you kind of got to watch. Yeah. Inflation's real, man. So I mean, look at my internet bill; it's $170 flipping a month. So
you're reading my mind.
So there are ways around this, you see. So number one, there is a free open source email client called Thunderbird. It's Mozilla Thunderbird, the same makers of Firefox. But if you install Mozilla Thunderbird, you can import your Outlook items into Thunderbird. And then Thunderbird has an interface that's very similar to Outlook. It is different. You are going to have a different menu interface, a slightly different way of getting around. There's going to be a learning curve to it, a few days maybe. And then you'll be able to truck around in it just like you did in Outlook.
So do I create an Outlook address in there, and it's like my name at thunderbird.com?
Oh, I understand. Okay. From an email perspective, you have to there's lots of different ways you can get email addresses. And one of the things we say on the program is that if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Correct.
So open source is a little bit different. So the Thunderbird, we understand why that's free. It's because people contribute to the community and build the program up to keep it free. But when you're getting free email, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, Outlook now, any of these, they're reading everything that goes through your inbox, machine reading. There's not a human sitting there, a guy in India in a tiny little booth reading everything, but they're machine reading all of your email to better target advertising to you or to sell an advertising profile to somebody else. So there are several service providers out there. This is where one of the few times where it's going to probably be in your best interest to actually pay for an email address rather than get a free one.
I'm listening. Thank you.
Yeah, Reagan.com is a popular one. protonmail.com is a really popular one. It's a little bit more expensive, but it also encrypts everything for privacy. So Proton, Proton, Proton Mail, Proton Mail. But you can go ahead and get an email address from one of those providers. And then when you get your Thunderbird, you would put that email address into Thunderbird. And then what you can do with your Gmail, which is really nifty, is you can set your Gmail to automatically forward a copy of every email that comes into your Gmail account to your Proton account. And that's easy. My guys can do that over the Schrock desk for you in like 5 minutes. But you know, that way you never have to log into Gmail again. You get all your email in one place.
Okay, so I can bring my Schrock PC to you guys and pay you guys then to get this stuff all done, correct?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you want it done quick and easy and right, then heck yeah, you can come pay us to do it. But if you're trying to minimize your costs,
no, I'll pay you guys to get it done right instead of me. If it ain't fun, hire it done was my slogan in my business.
Well, there you go. That's pretty good. I like that. All right, thank you for the call, Craig. I appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Bless.
You too. Thank you. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. So T-Mobile says if you use more than 1.2 terabytes of internet in a month, they're going to throttle you potentially. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to throttle you, you see. That doesn't mean that it's an automatic. You know, like if you hit 1.2, all of a sudden your speed drops. It's not automatic like that. However, they reserve the right to throttle you. Like, I remember when throttle meant something different, like I'm going to throttle you. You know, remember that? If you go over 1.2 terabytes, boy, I'm going to throttle you. You know, sounds like something my dad would have said. But anyway, if you go over 1.2, what they're saying is you're using more than your fair share of the network bandwidth. And therefore, if the network is congested in your area, read if you're in a large city, if you're congested at certain times of day, meaning like right after people get off from work and they're all watching Netflix or whatever. Yeah, do people still go to work? I think they do. I do. I don't know. Anyway, those times of day you're going to get throttled. You may not be throttled all the time, but if you use more than 1.2 terabytes of internet speed, you're going to get throttled during peak times. So the reason that this is important for mobile users, this makes sense, and this is no different than life has always been for us. Get on the Wi-Fi when you can. Yeah, that's all it means. However, to business users, T-Mobile sold those little trash cans with unlimited internet, and businesses are counting on that for the internet for their entire operation. Now with QuickBooks only going online, so your QuickBooks, everything's cloud, right? Everything's being uploaded, everything's being downloaded. It is so easy to hit 1.2 terabytes of data. So easy to do in a business environment. And then if they throttle you, all of a sudden your business slows down all across the board. That's something to really be concerned about. So one of the things you can do to find out if you're being throttled right now is there's a great website you can use called speedtest.net. Speedtest.net. And then basically it finds a server near you, you click go, and it'll tell you how fast your internet is. This is handy for if you're having a network problem in your building or your office or your home, like your router's going bad or something, your internet speed's too slow, you get a really low number, so you call your provider and then they say, it's not us, it's you, and then you replace the piece of equipment that you need to replace. Or if you're in a situation where you're using something like T-Mobile and you're getting throttled, this will show you that you're being throttled. I know I'm supposed to get X amount of speed, but I'm only getting half of that. And the only reason that would happen on T-Mobile gear with a T-Mobile signal is if T-Mobile was throttling me. So speedtest.net, just keep that in the back of your book there just in case you ever need it, especially if you're on mobile internet. A lot of people in rural areas are. And don't turn off the program. You can watch the show. It's not that we don't use that much bandwidth. We really don't. 402-558-1110. Going to take a quick break here, guys. Stick with us through the bottom of the hour because when we come back, we're going to find out, is your internet service provider ripping you off? I just found out I'm paying $170 a month for my internet. And I have a Cox Gigablast, and I have the unlimited, because I have 3 kids, guys. So we have the unlimited tier, right? And I believe at one point it was like $100 and then maybe a $25 hit for the unlimited, and there's probably some taxes, so call it $30. So $130 is kind of what I was expecting, which is still really high. And all of a sudden I'm being charged $170, and I have no idea how that happened or what it's going toward. And then I started looking up, what do other people pay for their internet? And then I started to get a little ticked off In fact, Matt just told me what he's paying for internet, and it just made me more angry. So I'm going to tell you what you should be paying for your internet, and I'm looking for your advice on how we can call these people and get all of our internet bills lowered coming up next on Compute This.
Computer problems usually don't just suddenly happen. Most failures usually start out as small issues with few or no symptoms. Over time, they grow into error messages, blue screens, and other problems that can be costly to fix. Schrock Innovations' biannual preventative maintenance checkup catches those small problems now before they can metastasize and become tomorrow's costly repairs. During the maintenance checkup, our experienced technicians perform up to 8 hours of tests, checks, automated repairs, and optimizations that keep your computer at peak efficiency while identifying potential issues while you still have options about how to handle them. When your computer gets its first checkup, it can see up to a 25% performance improvement and leaves our service center cleaned, sanitized, and running better than the day you bought it. Just about every complex device requires maintenance. Your computer is no different, especially considering the valuable information that passes through it every day. If you have not had your computer maintenance in the past 6 months, you are overdue. Stop in or call any of our service centers to arrange a free pickup to ensure your computer continues to work for you.
Drive Advisor is a free program from Schrock Innovations that monitors your hard drive's health and tells you if it's going bad. Download it for free at driveadvisor.com.
Have you noticed that almost every piece of technology seems to do its best to be disposable? Every day, people toss their phones, tablets, and other electronic devices because they can't be repaired. Manufacturers have engineered their products to fail on a schedule so they can extract more money out of your family budget automatically every year or so. But what if it didn't have to be that way? What if you could get the performance of today's fastest computers with the expansion and upgrade options you used to enjoy? You just described Schrock's modular desktop computers. Having the right tool for the job is important, and Schrock's modular desktop PCs pack the performance and flexibility to handle your computing needs, from just checking the email to running a complex business. Modular desktops are engineered to be easily repaired with widely available industry-standard parts. Every component is selected intentionally to give you years of upgrade and repair options. It is not uncommon for a Schrock customer to be using the same computer for a decade after they bought it. Modular PCs are the most popular custom computers in the Midwest for a reason. When you are ready for your next computer, stop in to check out the modular lifestyle or shop online at SchrockInnovations.com.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have 4 locations to help you out when your computer is not working the way you want it to work. You can drop it off in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road, in Omaha, 168th and Burke Street, in Papillion, 84th and Highway 370, and of course in West Des Moines, Iowa, at 9500 University Avenue. All locations also offer free pickup and free drop-off service, which is something we don't talk about a ton. Not intentionally, it's just it never comes up. But we will come to you and pick up your computer. You don't have to drop it off if you just want us to come get it. We can save you the time. We can pick it up and drop it off. There's no charge for that. Also, we do offer on-site service, and sometimes this makes more sense. So if you're having a problem with a printer, for example, on your Wi-Fi in your home, if you bring in the computer and the printer to the shop, we're not on your Wi-Fi. So we have to be on your Wi-Fi to address that. So sometimes we can address things over the Schrock desk virtually. We don't even have to send a technician out. But if you need us to, we'll come out to your home or your business, and we even have an entire corporate services line called Schrock Business that is specifically engineered to address the needs of businesses. It's still hilarious, though, because sometimes the business owners will sign up for Schrock Business, but then they still call the service centers when they have a problem. And it's like, you realize you're getting like the consumer guys, right? And you're like, and they're doing their best to help you, but they don't know your network like Jeff and his team does. So if you're in Schrock Business, call Jeff. Don't call the shops. But if you're not a Schrock Business client, or you're not a Schrock Desk client, or anything along those lines, we had one business owner said, used to be back in the day, I was just a member of the Schrock Desk for $35 a month, and I got unlimited support. How come it's so much more expensive now for a business? And we're like, oh, you were a business using the Schrock Desk. That's against the rules. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be for consumers. That's the Schrock Desk, for consumers, not for businesses. and it's per computer. So how many computers are you covering under Schrock Business? Oh, 37. You were paying $35 a month to cover 37 computers on the Schrock desk, and you admitted that. It was funny. So anyway, he's like, never mind, I'm fine. No problems here. 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. Steve, welcome to the program. Thanks for staying on hold there through the break. I appreciate your patience. How can I help you on Compute This?
Hey, good morning, Thor. Thanks for taking the call.
No sweat.
A couple of things. First of all, we're paying $50 a month for our internet connectivity, but we live in a condo in Omaha, and the organization that offers it only does it to condos and apartment complexes. So I don't know if you want to mention a company or not.
Oh, yeah, go. We're going to mention a lot of companies today.
Yeah, it's Technical Magic are the guys that do it. And we've had them for, it's probably at least 2 years. I think maybe I've had 3 outages, and every time they either called or sent me an email. If it was a planned outage, they'd send it before to let you know. So, I mean, it's just been, I was a little worried about it, but it's been really good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, my Cox internet used to be less than reliable in our neighborhood, and then they finally got all the wiring figured out and straightened out from when they laid the neighborhood, 12 or 15 years ago. And then all of a sudden the fast wire guys started coming through. These fiber crews that are dropping fiber cable everywhere, and literally the Cox guys are like, oh, they're a nightmare. They just go down into into the line, and they'll just shove their lines through. They don't care what they pull out or what they break, or it just doesn't matter. She goes, then we have to send our reps down to figure out why the Cox stuff isn't working, and we end up tacking their wire up and putting it away. All the things they're not doing, they're just kind of sticking it over whatever pipe they can find and just running it along. She goes, we're literally fixing their stuff because it's tearing our wires out. So yeah, the reliability is huge. A lot of people, in fact, I have a comment in in Schrockville here at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations on the show, says, guy got tired of Cox's constant outages. So yeah, I mean, the uptime is huge. So $50 a month, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good because a lot of the averages land right around there.
We had been Cox Gigapixel, and frankly, I edit video and photography and dump stuff to Dropbox. I haven't seen any kind of drop off in speed, so that's been a good deal.
Nice.
But, hey, what I really called you about is my holiday special desktop from a couple of years ago. The CD-ROM or the CD drive in it will read 1 out of 10 discs.
Oh wow!
And when I put one in that it won't read, you can hear it crank, and it just kind of goes clunk clunk, and then stops, and then it starts again, and it stops.
Okay.
So what am I doing? I've checked the driver. It says I've got the most updated driver, but what's happening there?
Well, there's two. When it comes to disk drives like that, there's 2 possibilities. Either one, my friend, you have some scratched up discs. I mean,
these will run in my portable drive and off of my Dell laptop.
Okay, so it's not the discs then, obviously. So then the next obvious conclusion is the second option, which is it's the disk drive. So if the disk drive is not functioning properly, and if the laptop is under warranty, which with the holiday special, I hope it is still under warranty, but if it is under warranty, we will replace that DVD drive for you at no cost. If it's not under, or if it's currently not under a warranty, a drive is about $100. There's an hour of labor to put it in, but it's a physical hardware problem, and we have to replace the drive. The trick with replacing those drives is that the plastic face on the outside of the computer that matches the molding is not part of the drive. So you have to very carefully remove that you remove the drive, then you have to take that plastic off real careful because there's just a couple little plastic tabs that hold that on. And if that breaks, it's a nightmare to find those pieces. Then the drives are pretty much, interchangeable. We have them in stock. So then we would put a new drive in. We would put the plastic plate back on the outside so it'll look exactly the same from the outside, but we'd essentially replace the drive hardware.
Gotcha. Well, I think what I'll probably do is bring it in because I've also got you guys installed a card reader because I do photography, so I've got a camera that shoots CF drives. And I've bent one of the little prongs on that crazy thing. And then I also had you guys do a thing in the back to put in USB-C. The problem is when they put it in, it's basically blocked by one of the support bars, so I can't really use it. So I need to have you guys take a look at that, and I'll just bring a crazy thing in when I'm getting ready to go out of town for something else, and that way you can have a couple days work on it.
That sounds great. We'd be happy to do that for you. Sorry, I thought you had a laptop for some reason. So the drives on the desktop are much easier to replace than that. They don't have to worry about the plastic and all that. But it sounds like we got a couple other things going on. And also, now is an excellent time, or any time it's convenient for you, obviously. But right now is kind of our slow season. So right now we have space on the bench. We have customers bringing in maintenance checkups from certificates they purchased, and they're getting really quick turnaround on computers. So it's a great time to bring it in. You get a real quick turnaround. So we'll look forward to seeing you, Steve.
Got it. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. All right. Real quick, Tom, how can I help you on Compute This today?
Yeah, this might be a little off, but I have been on vacation, and I was using the Journal app in my phone to record everything and put some pictures in.
Okay.
And now it says that I can't print that.
Oh, gotcha. What kind of phone do you have?
Oh, an Android?
Okay. Do you know is it a Samsung?
No, it's...
That's okay. It's probably an LG or something, or a Google Pixel or something like that.
I think so.
I've never actually tried to print from the Notes app in my phone, but I'm embarrassed to say I've never actually tried that. Is there an option to print and it's telling you it's not going to work?
It says it won't print it. I can't take it off of the phone and print it.
Interesting. Boy, we would have to take a look into that one. You've got me stumped on this one, Tom. That doesn't happen often, but boy, can we export it to some other format that we could then print, like a PDF or something? Or is it not printing because there's not a mobile-ready printer available? So, for example, all the newer HP printers, you can print directly from your phone in pretty much any app because it's controlled by the HP app. So if you have a newer printer, you can set up the phone printing and print from your device. I've done it before on my phone.
It's an old printer.
Gotcha. So the other possibility here is we might need to get that phone on a network that has a different printer. We have those printers at Schrock. So, if your phone happened to be in the service center on our network, we might be able to take a look at that and say, oh, yeah, here we go, print. There we go. Here's your printout. Have a great day. No charge. We're not even going to write a work order for that. So, yeah, if you happen to be near a service center, just pop in and say, hey, can you help me figure out how to print something off my phone? And the person at the front desk will sit there and work with you on it and see if they can't get it figured out for you.
Okay. I do appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, Tom.
It's a little frustrating.
Yeah, I bet it is. And I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better answer. I've just never actually tried to print from the Notes app on my phone before. That's a great question. Now I'm going to have to go home and try that today. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the call. All right, so is your internet service provider ripping you off like they're ripping me off? Well, I went and looked into it, and it depends on your type of internet connection, right? And some of this stuff is a little weird because they say, okay, so for a cable connection like Cox or Comcast, you'd get speeds of 10 to 200 megabits a second. Well, I'm getting over 1,000, so obviously and I'm not on fiber. So obviously you can get more than 200 megabits a second from your cable provider. The average monthly user across the United States using cable modem internet is paying $58 a month. So if you are paying more than $58, could be taxes, could be fees, or whatever. If you're paying more than $58, you might have an issue. Let's say you're a DSL customer. This would be like Windstream or CenturyLink. DSL customers get between 1 and 80 megabits per second, which is pretty accurate. You can get a little bit better than that, but it's definitely slower than a cable connection. But you're going to pay $43 a month on average for that one. So if you're a DSL customer and you're getting more than $43 a month on your bill, of course, there could be taxes and fees and stuff like that. So let's call it $50. If you're paying more than $50, you got an issue. Now, let's say you're on fiber, like one of these smarty pants people. Then you get 200 to 1,000 megabits. So this is effectively the speed that I have at home, right, is up to a gigabit. The average person that gets a gigabit is paying $66 a month, and I am paying $170. Do you see why I was getting a little steamy? Let's say you're satellite. Maybe you're, HughesNet or that's not satellite. HughesNet is DSL, I believe. Let's say you're Starlink, right? The average satellite user gets about 100 megabits a second. It's much slower, but you can get it anywhere. So if the option is nothing or 100 megabit, Hey, it beats ye old dial-up modem for $91 a month because satellites are expensive because they're in space. All right, now, here it is broken down by provider. So if you are with Spectrum, you're going to pay between $49 and $130 a month for up to a gigabit. If you're with AT&T, you'll spend $55 to $80 a month, much cheaper actually, on the upper tier for up to a gigabit. If you have Google Fiber, or maybe you had one person in Schrockville say they're on the waiting list for Google Fiber, you will pay $50 to $100 a month for your gigabit internet. Verizon, up to a gigabit for $40 to $90 a month. That's a pretty wide range. For Comcast, for a gigabit, you're going to pay between $40 and $100 a month. And finally, my favorite, my boy, Cox Communications, 50 to a gigabit, 50 megabits to a gigabit, you'll pay between $40 and $120 a month. Not 170. WTF, man. Or as Joe Biden would say, come on, man. What is this malarkey? All right, 402-558-1110, 888-250-2091. We're going to take a quick break and then come back with our final segment coming up next. Could GPT-4 put your optometrist out of business? Well, now we have the data. Can it actually diagnose eye problems more accurately than your optometrist? You'll be surprised. Coming up next on Compute This.
Schrock Innovation's solid-state laptops are engineered locally for speed and reliability you just can't get from the major national brands. Each of our laptops starts off with an Asus chassis. We remove the stock drives and memory and upgrade them with higher-performing components. This unlocks the full potential of the laptop, making the unit up to 25% faster. This is why Schrock's solid-state laptops last so much longer than the competition. If your laptop starts out 25% faster, that means over time it doesn't slow down nearly as fast.
Schrock Innovations Data Recovery Lab saves the data the other guys can't. The next time your hard drive, camera card, or flash drive fails, let Schrock get your data back.
When your computer has a warranty and you have a problem, don't call the manufacturers for help. Call Schrock Innovations. Schrock will contact HP, Dell, Asus, Samsung, or any other manufacturer to arrange a warranty repair at no cost to you. We know how these companies work. We know the loopholes and the tricks to get your system repaired under warranty as quickly as possible. Even so, manufacturers can take up to 21 days to fix your computer. We'll give you the option of a fast local repair in one of our service centers or provide you with a loaner laptop to use while you wait. We can even back up your data before we ship your computer, just in case the warranty fix includes a hard drive wipe. Schrock tests your computer when it comes back from repair to ensure the problem was solved properly and all of your hardware works like new. There's a reason Schrock Innovations is consistently voted the best in town. Whenever you need help, wherever you need it, Schrock Innovations makes your computer work for you.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back in. Final segment of the show. Thanks for sticking with us today on the program. You're listening to Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Once again, 4 locations to help you out. Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Omaha, 168th and Burke Street, across the street from the Village Point Mall where the rent is slightly cheaper. Also in Papillion, 84th and Highway 370. And of course, West Des Moines, Iowa, 9500 University Avenue. As I mentioned earlier, we do free pickoff, free drop-off. We do on-site work. We have a business division and also new customers. If you've never been into the service center before, you can get your first hour of labor for free to try out our service. We're so confident that when you experience how we do things, it's different than the way other computer repair shops do. And when you experience that you're going to say, you know what, this is my new computer repair place. I like this place. And then we'll get your business going forward in the future. And we're willing to give you that free hour of labor just to get you in the door so you can try us out a little bit. So one of the things that we do here on the program, if you're not familiar with the show, is after the show concludes, we do another little show called the After Schrock afterward. And it's only available on Facebook because it's just facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Of course, later on, we put the video and everything up on Rumble, and it's all on the Schrock website where you can click on radio show and see everything. So what we're going to talk about on the After Schrock today, because we didn't have one last week, right? And of course, I go out of town for a week. And the whole flipping world changes, right? So all of a sudden, you've got the House votes to ban TikTok and spend a whole boatload of money on all kinds of things. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We have an update on Bitcoin. We're going to compare it with gold and some other things and see, basically, is Bitcoin, like gold is a pet rock is what Buffett says. It just sits there. It does nothing. Other people say gold is like a store of value, like a battery. What is Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin a rock or a battery? Or maybe some weird combination of both. I don't know. Also, everybody's been following who wants to be following Trump's New York trial. Jury selection is complete there. There are some strange bedfellows coming forward to testify for Trump, to support Trump. Weird people that you didn't think would ever do that. So we're going to tell you one of them. It's going to blow your mind coming up in the Aftershock. So stay tuned for that. Facebook.com/Schrock Innovations coming up after the program today. Other bit of housekeeping, guys. The ultimate upgrade sale is is still in effect, going through the end of this month. So at the end of the month, it's done, but you can trade in any old piece of junk you want for a new modular desktop, a solid-state laptop, or the all-new modular mini over at Schrock. You get them your choice of any of the three models for $599. Doesn't matter what you trade in. We don't care. But you can check those out at the service centers or on our website at SchrockInnovations.com. If you do want to buy online, you don't have to trade in anything until you come to pick up the computer. So when we call you to tell you the computer is ready for pickup, that's when you would bring whatever you're going to bring to trade in for it, and we would recycle that for you. All right, so real quick, we got a couple callers still on the line here. So before we jump into the Chat GPT optometrist story, let's make sure we get these guys in first. Brad, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Yes, I was interested in the Secure Updater. And
Yes, sir.
I went on your website, and I went to shop, and then I went to software.
You couldn't find
and
it.
I couldn't find it on there anywhere.
Gotcha. So this is one of the things that it's one of the anomalies of Schrock. So Secure Updater is a program that we make. So you would think it's on our website, and it should be on our website. So we'll put it up there. We're going through a redesign right now on that website, so it's one of the things we're looking at actively. We also own the website secureupdater.com. That's our website. So if you go to secureupdater.com and you purchase Secure Updater there, you're a Schrock customer. So why don't have it in both places? Well, because Secure Updater is weird. It's designed to be a product for our customers, but it's also sold by many other computer repair shops across the country. And so they buy licenses from us, and then they install it on their customers' computers. And so they don't want to have a whole bunch of Schrock Innovations logos all over this stuff for their customers. They want it to look like, Bob's PC repair stuff. And so we created the Secure Updater website to not be branded as a Schrock website so that people could go and learn about the product and then decide to buy it from Bob's PC repair potentially instead of Schrock. So that's why it's a little weird that it's not on the website, but it's on a separate site. But anyway, no matter where you go, if you go to secureupdater.com, you're good to go.
Okay, well, thank you.
Hey, thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Paul, stay on the line there. I'll get to your call here after the show ends. We're running out of time here. We got to draw the winner for the $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. And that is Steve. Congratulations, Steve. You got yourself $25 over at Schrock. Amy will get a hold of you on Monday to get that into your Schrock account. So could your optometrist be replaced by GPT-4? And the answer is possibly. The AI model was able to outperform all entry-level optometrists, so all your Pearl Vision Center people, was also able to outperform all specialists. Only the most advanced optometrists were able to do better than this Chat GPT machine. Crazy, crazy world that's coming around us, guys. All right, stay tuned for the Aftershock, and we'll see you next weekend for another edition of Compute This.
From the Amish Furniture of Nebraska studio, with locations in Grand Island, Elkhorn, and now Lincoln, this is News